For those who can hang in to this book discussion, I'm continuing on, almost finished this chapter, and get into completely something different. What is evident is that the covariance structure of seemingly random wavelet coefficients allow learning and creativity to occur. It is recognized, however, that seemingly random wavelet coefficients may be a reflection of a deeper implicate order, as are found in fractals, where apparently random numbers, when put through a specific formula, as in r plus r squared, produce magnificent orders within orders of beauty. I believe there will be found a correlation between the deeper order of consciousness as reflected in the holodynamic model. The full potential self, for example, as the originator of every order of human consciousness, can be correlated with dynamic interactions within a person's environment. This produces orders within orders of beauty within the field of consciousness. Basically, what I see is we're merging who we are with, like who we are right now, our imperfect self, with our perfect self. And the perfect self is sort of out there. You know that you're better than what you are. You know our world has a better potential than what it is, but it's up there. It's out in hyperspace. It's out in something we can't feel and touch. You can't feel your personal full potential, but you know it's there. If you can visualize it, have the idea for what's good for yourself and the requirements it takes to unfold that, then you are merging with your full potential self. So there's like the perfect being of you that you need to get to learn. And if we all did this on a global basis, then we'd all heal the whole friggin' planet. So this is why it's so relevant for everybody to know that. It's not your responsibility to fix somebody else. It's only your responsibility to be your full potential, and just let somebody else know how they can find their full potential if they wanted it. The benefits to them is they get everything they want, just like you get everything you want, because you're full potential. Reading on, in quantum computers, it would also appear that any mother wavelet must have harmonic wavelets of lower strength. This supports Riemanni, I can't pronounce that name, and Wolfpert's 1997 conclusion and observations of generalization and modulation in visual motor learning. Additional research has suggested that Vaninci and Corradi's report of using Bayes-Shank on blocks bumps, evasine and Doppler signals feeded with Gaussian white noise. So many words that I don't understand. Bayes-Shank is successful in recovering the data with the exception of the Doppler signal. The Doppler signal is distorted at the beginning of the signal. This wavelet interpretation of neural processing should demonstrate problems in a Doppler signal and allow a way to find problems in the model. In a like matter, human awareness seems to have a built-in self-modifier. This self-modifier allows one to consciously access one's full potential self or information source, negotiate for self-correction, and thus adjust the system so it works more to one's satisfaction in the space-time continuum. This also indicates that every form of intelligence is connected. All have adjusted to this form of reality, and all are under a covenant of some sort, as reflected in the implicit order and in collective consciousness. In summary, the quantum computer model allows distinct insights into the consciousness that help bridge the gap between current computer cognitive motors, and holodynamic model of reality. Furthermore, the quantum model brings to light similarities between human consciousness and computer of the future. Quantum computers maintain a superposition of being both on and off at the same time. Information is stored in the fluid environment, isolated from contamination, as are human microtubules, and they are capable of representing both individual and collective information fields. They function according to nuclear spins in self-organizing rays and can manage almost an infinite number of bits within a finite space, just as microtubules do in humans. They are capable of updrafting and downdrafting distinctions and organize in hierarchies according to the specific built-in order, and they can learn from experience. I got a massive, massive problem with going into technology too much. It's like we don't want to be human. We want stuff to be the humans. We want computers to do our work for us. We're always looking for the easy way out. And it's that easy way out that's causing us problems all the time. And it's not even the easy way out, it's the hard way out, because you're always looking for something external to improve your life and nothing internal. So I know with this Venus project, one of their biggest problems is they're saying the same thing over and over, that this system is saying, that computers should run our lives, that technology should run our lives. Let's look at that game. Has technology improved us in any way, shape, or form? We now have phones that if you make a phone call, you'll never ever reach anybody. You're going to get a long list of press 1, press 2. You know, you'll never ever talk to a real human being, which means no problems get solved. It's good for the corporate world, but it's not good for human life. Interaction with each other, actually solving problems one-on-one. So these supercomputers, you know, all they'll do is show you what you're capable of. It's our external world that's built on what we know as human. We build computers once we understand more about what the brain does. That's all a computer is. It started off with calculating machines. The brain can calculate. As soon as they knew the brain could calculate, they designed a machine. Then they had computers, which do exactly the same thing that the brain does. Now we're trying to learn how to make the brain more effective. So we're going to make more effective computers. But ultimately, any computer that's being designed to sort of think for itself and, you know, learns by experience, that means you're going to design a computer system that has to start from the beginning of man, and it's going to have to make an awful lot of mistakes before it readjusts itself to know what it's doing. So I would never, ever, ever trust a supercomputer to run my life just because you think it can self-learn. Look at how long it's taken human life to learn. This is going to take years of massive mistakes, lots of killing, lots of destruction just before a computer will self-organize itself. So I think it's a bad direction, but it's really kind of interesting to know that the more you know about technology, the more you can understand human life, because it's a reflection of. Reading on, they also function without the apparent use of energy. When new information is fed into a quantum system, it resets itself, much like fully conscious systems. They also adjust incoming information so it will conform to the established forms, just as the fine-grained and gross-grained screens do on human senses. Quantum computing takes place 28 times faster than input, making possible hyperspatial information organization compared to input. It functions from a superposition faster than input can be supplied. Like humans, the computer does not have to know how to learn. They are also fundamentally different from us. They cannot compare to our complexities. Our microstructuring is so diverse it scans an infinite number of parallel worlds and maintains constant contact of a subatomic level with our and personal hyperspatial identity, our full potential self. We are in eternal beings beyond space and time and are not invented machines. There is a difference so basic it is like comparing the car to a driver. Computers no computers, no matter how complex or extension of our own inventiveness, they are a reflection of our nature, extensions of our choosing and adopted by us. So that sort of makes the point that no matter how sophisticated of a machine you make, it will never be as complex as the human capability. You have to know who you are in order to design a computer system, so it's not the way to go at all. In the last 2 decades, we have had a relatively explosive growth rate, but we have just begun to scratch the surface of the nature of consciousness. Its magnificence is barely discernible, and its diversity includes those wondrous inventions, but consciousness cannot be contained in anything less than a quantum potential field connections with hyperspatial dimensions. Yes, the entire universe is conscious, and thus nothing can be separated. Any wedding we have as a bioenergetics or any DNA modifications we make, as in genome projects or gene splicing and cloning, can form a new information field with its own unique potential. It is all by design of our own making. That's why I say there's no aliens, because we're just doing gene manipulation to make a human body look deformed, so much so that it looks like it's from out of this world. But it is our own making. Our similarities and differences tell us a great deal about ourselves and our consciousness. We are discovering that information itself in the quantum field from which consciousness emerges is part of the larger field to which we are connected. We are both the sheep in the field and the shepherd who watches. It is also part of the field of consciousness. This field is a pioneer field containing our most valued treasure, more valuable riches than any gold or silver or any other natural resource. It is the treasure of our own nature. It cannot be contained within the sheep. It is more than particle and wave dynamics. Like each of the new sciences, the implications from quantum computers and artificial intelligence are profound. Wave information reveals more about our own nature and holds great promise in helping us overcome both our individual and collective challenges. Perhaps with the help of these new forms of consciousness, we will be able to understand our own consciousness better and so build a better future, one that is more sustainable and perhaps one in which we can all exist in open collective coherence together. This is the field in which solutions are contained, and towards this, and we will now move on to exploring the holodynamic view of consciousness. Clearly, this Dr. Wolf is all for, let's build a computer so it can control our world. He is basically saying that it's no good. It's not going to be perfect because it will only be a reflection of who we are. The process of designing technology helps us to understand who we are. But this is where I think this guy does go a little insane, is he's not believing his own work. In one sentence, he's saying that it's so complex, nothing will ever be as complex as humans. So if you can't, then you can't design a perfect system. It's going to be a design of what you know about us, and if we only know a small percentage, then it's going to do harm to us. To me, this is one sign of Dr. Wolf's pure insanity, is to think that, okay, we know we can't design a perfect system, but the imperfect system we can design is somehow going to be good for us. It just makes no logic sense to me. So that's where I can kind of see that contradiction right there. Won't work.